Dear Laura Tarsi, this vlog will be a lot longer than my previous ones because there's a special story I want to share with you that's kind of resonated in my life. But first off, there's probably going to be some background noise. This is kind of like my third attempt because the previous two attempts, the background noise was so gargantuan that it was going to distract from the listener, which is primarily you. This video is for you. So, my question is there a particular childhood memory, particularly on like from the weekend, that you hold near and dear to your heart? Do you have one? Oh, I do. This you're gonna go. Let's go into a time machine, and I'm gonna take you back to 1996, 1997. That was roughly 17 years ago. I was still a kid in elementary school. Had a tough time trying to wake up for school on the weekdays because I wanted to sleep in just like everybody else. But when it came to the weekend, Saturday, I would try to go to bed on Friday night as early as I could so I could wake up early for my Saturday morning cartoons. And sometimes, I'd have to ask my late grandmother to wake me up at around 6. So I would go to bed around 10 o'clock once TGIF was over and done with. And my Saturday morning started at 6:30 a.m. There was a show on CBS called CBS Story Break, and it was hosted by Malcolm Jamal Warner. This particular story that I still think about to this day is called Chocolate Fever. It's about this kid named Henry Green who loves chocolate to death. Likes it bitter, sweet, light, dark, and daily. All that junk. His sister makes fun of him, calls him a chocolate freak. Parents are like, relax. Henry's never had a cavity. He's in good shape. So one day Henry goes to school and he's in class, and all of a sudden he's distracted by these little brown spots on his arm. It keeps him from doing his work and everything. So he asked his teacher about it, and the teacher was like, "Are you sure these have never appeared before?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." So she takes him to the nurse's office, and the rest of his class are looking at him with that envy. It's like, how dare he? I mean, is he sick or something? How come he gets to leave class? So he goes to the nurse's office, and the nurse smells some kind of like chocolate bars, chocolate milk, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the brown spots appear on Henry's face. So they say that this ailment that he has is pretty serious. So they take him to the hospital, and they take him to see Dr. Fargo or something. And so he takes a swab sample from Henry. Turns out those brown spots are 100% pure chocolate. So then this whole TV, a whole array of TV reporters come, and Fargo's like, I have a patient who has chocolate fever. This is my first case. I'll answer any questions as we go along. Henry doesn't want to be a sideshow freak or a sideshow attraction. He doesn't want that. He's not all about that noise. So he takes his clothes, he escapes from the hospital, stows away in this truck or something. He meets this guy. I can't really recall his name, but he actually works for a candy distributor. So he and the truck driver who lets him in the truck, after all of the confusion and whatnot, they get ambushed by robbers. Although they're not holding any guns, they just pretended they have guns. And they tie up the truck driver, and they tie up Henry. So they're at their hideout, and unbeknownst to them, dogs have been following them. So the dogs come, they manage to thwart the robbers, and that allows the truck driver and Henry to be freed from whatever ropes they were confined in. They tie up the robbers, and all of these dogs are licking Henry's face because he smells like a freaking chocolate malt ball or something. Anyway, Henry was considering running away from home because of this ailment that he didn't know how to treat. So the truck driver and Henry take their shipment to this big guy who likes to refer to himself as Sugar. And for some reason, he knows that Henry has chocolate fever. Because he says that he himself had it, although he doesn't specify. He just says that he knows of someone who had chocolate fever. And he says there's 2 ways to cure it. And here's the key, the one key thing that he said that really sticks out. Though life is grand and pleasure is everywhere, we can't have everything we want every time we want it. And I think it doesn't just refer to candy, it just refers to everything. You know, people, I'm not saying everyone, but people have the capacity to be very, narcissistic, very all about me, basically. Have that really huge ego, very needy, very greedy. They want everything and anything in the world. You gotta understand that just cannot happen. And it's not healthy either. Having everyone bend their will towards your way, and you can have this and you can have that. I mean, it's just not a positive setting. Anyway, the second part of the cure is, well, what's the opposite of chocolate? Henry's like, well, vanilla. So Sugar gives Henry Green these vanilla pills. And he says that eventually the chocolate spots will dissipate. So Henry and Sugar shake hands. The truck driver takes Henry home, and as he and the truck driver are conversing, the chocolate spots begin to disappear, and everybody lives happily ever after. Yes, even through all the commercial breaks, it was a very important half an hour of my life, and even 17 years later, I still think about it. So, pardon the background noise, I can't help it. Laura Tarsi, it was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sincerely yours, Bonanza 86.